When people think about nuclear accidents, a few names always come to mind: Chernobyl, Fukushima, 3 Mile Island. Each of these events is remembered for its scale, its fear, and its consequences. But long before any of them happened, the nuclear world experienced an accident that didn't destroy a city, yet quietly rewrote the rules of nuclear engineering. It happened in 1952 at a research reactor in Chalk River, Canada. And what made it dangerous wasn't explosions or radiation alone. It was something more subtle. It exposed how nuclear reactors behave when humans misunderstand time, feedback, and physics. In the early 1950s, nuclear reactors were not power plants. They were experiments. Engineers knew the mathematics of nuclear fission. They understood neutron cross-sections and chain reactions on paper. But a working reactor is not an equation. It is a dynamic system, one that responds instantly while humans react slowly. At Chalk River Laboratories, Canada operated the NRX reactor, the National Research Experimental Reactor. NRX was among the most powerful research reactors on Earth at the time. It was used to study how nuclear reactions behave in real materials, produce medical isotopes, and test ideas that would later be used in civilian power reactors. But NRX also represented something dangerous. It was built at a time when engineers still believed procedures were enough. They hadn't yet learned that systems fail in ways procedures can't predict. One of the most important lessons from Chalk River is this: a nuclear reactor is not naturally stable. It must be made stable, constantly. Inside NRX, uranium fuel rods were submerged in heavy water. The heavy water slowed neutrons, allowing fission to continue at a controlled rate. Control rods were used to absorb neutrons and regulate power. Everything depended on balance, but this balance had a hidden flaw. Reactor power does not increase smoothly. It can increase exponentially. That means a small change can produce a large effect, and that effect can happen faster than humans expect. This is something early operators did not fully internalize. On December 12, 1952, operators were running a test on NRX. Nothing about the test seemed extreme, and this is what made it dangerous. Several control rods were withdrawn too far. Instrumentation readings became confusing. Different operators had different interpretations of what they were seeing, but the control room felt calm, and that calm was misleading because while humans experience time linearly, reactors do not. Inside the core, neutron population was rising rapidly. Heat followed immediately, and once heat begins to rise faster than cooling can respond, control is already being lost. When people imagine nuclear accidents, they think of radiation. Engineers think of heat, and heat is the real enemy. As NRX power surged, heat inside the fuel rods increased sharply. Cooling water began to boil. This is critical, not because boiling is dramatic, but because boiling changes physics. Water removes heat efficiently, and steam does not. As water turns to steam, cooling efficiency drops. Pressure rises, and feedback becomes unstable. NRX crossed what engineers now call a thermal runaway condition. At that point, the reactor wasn't misbehaving, it was obeying physics perfectly. What followed was not a nuclear explosion. There was no chain reaction detonation. Instead, rapidly boiling water flashed into steam. Pressure built up faster than the structure could release it. A steam explosion occurred inside the reactor vessel. The force was strong enough to lift the massive steel top of the reactor by over a meter. Fuel rods ruptured. Radioactive material was released into the building, and thousands of liters of contaminated water flooded the facility. This taught engineers something counterintuitive. Most nuclear accidents are mechanical failures driven by heat and pressure, not nuclear physics gone wrong. Radiation spread through the reactor building. Gases were vented into the atmosphere. Contaminated water entered drainage system and soil. At the time, radiation monitoring tools were crude. Exposure limits were poorly understood, and officials believed the situation was manageable. Only later did the researchers realize how much radiation cleanup workers had absorbed. This revealed a critical truth: radiation danger is often delayed, cumulative, and invisible. Cleanup was slow and dangerous. There were no robots, no remote manipulators, and human beings had to enter the damaged reactor core. Each worker was allowed inside for only seconds at a time. Among them was a young US Navy officer named Jimmy Carter, the future President of the United States. The operation required careful timing, rotation, and dose tracking. This accident permanently changed nuclear thinking. Engineers realized that humans are not external supervisors. They are part of the system, and systems must be designed around human limits. After Chalk River, nuclear engineering changed direction. Designers stopped assuming. Operators would always interpret instruments correctly. Procedures could cover every scenario. Instead, reactors were redesigned to shut down automatically, provide redundant safety systems, display clearer, more intuitive data, assume mistakes will happen. This philosophy still defines nuclear safety today. Later disasters, 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, Fukushima, would all replay variations of lessons first revealed at Chalk River. The Chalk River incident didn't destroy a city, but it destroyed an assumption. The assumption that intelligence alone makes systems safe. Instead, it revealed something deeper. Safety is not about avoiding mistakes, it's about surviving them. The idea, born quietly in a Canadian research reactor, still protects millions of people today, and this is why this forgotten accident matters.